Hi everyone, Joe here, and today we're going to be teaching you how to set up IVS, Tripwire, and Intrusion on your Elite recorder. Now, we do feel that the best way to get this done is to access the recorder from your browser. If you don't know how to do that, we have a guide, and you can find a link to that guide in the description at the bottom of the page. You can also access your recorder locally, as the interfaces are strikingly similar. Now, there is one important piece of information. If you are using an Elite recorder today, please be advised that you should only be using an Elite camera to set up IVS, as there's no compatibility guarantee with third-party hardware. With that out of the way, let's log into our recorder or our browser and get started. Once we are logged in, it should place us directly onto the main menu. If you're using a PTZ camera, you'll need to first set up a preset in order to be able to use your IVS rules. Since we are using a PTZ camera for this example, let's go to the live view. Once on the live view, select the camera that you'll be using, and then double-click the center of the screen to expand the image. Once you have a full-size image that you can properly manipulate, use the PTZ arrows on the control center to move the camera to a position you're comfortable with. Once you have the position locked down, you can either add preset number 1 or change the number and add there. When the preset successfully adds, this will be indicated by the word preset and the number appearing in the upper left-hand corner of the image. Now that we've added our preset, it's time to do our IVS rules. Let's return to the main menu by clicking the monitor in the upper right-hand corner. Now, depending on what kind of recorder you're working with, you'll have to access the IVS settings from one of two different menus. On the left side, if using the AI recorder, click AI. From here, we'll need to decollapse the Parameters tab. Once decollapsed, select Smart Plan, make sure the channel we're working with is selected, and click the IVS light bulb. Then click OK in the bottom right-hand corner to save the setting. Returning to the Parameters tab, we're now going to need to click the IVS tab. OK. If using the other kind of recorder, click Smart Detection. Next, decollapse the Parameters tab, then simply click IVS. Now, from this point forward, either menu should be the same, so we're going to switch back to a single screen. The first thing we'll need to do once arriving on the IVS page is make sure that we have selected the proper camera channel we are working with. When we're ready to add a rule, click the plus sign here. When the rule populates in, it will automatically be set to the Tripwire setting. By default, the rule's directional setting will also be set to all or both, meaning if an object crosses the line either direction, it will trigger the rule. You can make this a one-way line by setting to A to B or B to A. You may have to click the Draw Rule box to start drawing, but often the system is already unlocked. When ready, simply left-click on the screen to start your line, and right-click to end your line. You can see the line created here, and you can see an arrow going both ways across, matching our both directional setting we currently have. Setting A to B makes the arrow go one way, and setting B to A makes it go to another way. You'll see that based on the way the arrow is set by the time the red car drives over the line, that it would have ignored the car if we had saved and locked this rule down. We're going to leave our rules set to both. There are other parameters you can set as well. If your recorder and camera are AI capable, you can tell your system to ignore people or vehicles crossing the rule. If you have an auto-tracking PTZ, you can set a track time and check the box here to have the camera track any object that crosses the rule. This is going to be set for a maximum of up to 300 seconds. There is also a period setting, and what this does is allow you to set a schedule for the rule. Otherwise, by default, the rule will be active 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Below the period setting, you see a post-record setting. This indicates how long the record channel will record after the rule happens on a schedule that isn't set to default record 24/7. From your alarm out option, you can have an alarm out trigger on any of your alarm ports when the rule is triggered. For the record channel, this tells any number of camera channels that are set and selected to record when this rule is triggered, even if it isn't the same camera the rule is taking place on. The TOR will cause any default TORs to occur on any cameras that are set, and you can find even more advanced PTZ settings and activation capability here, where any number of cameras can be told to use a preset, a TOR, a pattern, or a scan upon the activation of the rule. Now that we've looked at all of our parameters, let's see what it looks like to set up an intrusion rule. First, let's clear out our existing rule. Then, in the rule itself, double-click where you see Tripwire. This will create a drop-down menu allowing you to change the rule to intrusion. To draw the intrusion box, left-click to start the first line, and left-click to create each subsequent line. When completing the last line for your box, right-click to lock down the box. As you can see, the box is finished here. Unlike a tripwire, a box functions both ways on each of the lines all the time. Instead, you have the ability to set the appearance or a cross setting for whether or not something is inside the box, outside the box, or crosses the box. Outside of that, the other parameters are the same. When you're done with your rule, click OK. Okay, that's everything you need to know about setting up IVS. Let's take a look at a tripwire rule with PTZ trigger in action.
Thanks for joining us today and learning about IVS, tripwire, and intrusion. Until next time, guys, have a great one and stay safe.